What's going on, everybody? So today I am going to do an update on my Beretta clone, which is the Girsan Regard. I know there's a lot of Beretta clones. Taurus made some. There's a Melick, I think, that did a clone. I've played with a couple of the Tauruses. I've never played with the Melick, but I own 3 actual Berettas. I've owned them for years. It's probably, other than the 1911, one of my favorite guns. There's a lot of controversy about, the safeties up here. People actually accidentally hit them when they pull the slide back. I never have. I just hit over 7,500 rounds through this gun. I paid sub $400 for it. But what I did is I took everything out besides the barrel, the slide, and the frame, and the grips that I just stippled. It's all Beretta or LTT, Langdon Tactical. This is a Wilson Combat extended mag release. It's a Beretta trigger, Beretta slide stop, Beretta takedown lever. These decockers are Beretta. I didn't do the, the Gen 4 that automatically kicks it back up. I just didn't want to spend the extra money. This is the Langdon Tactical hammer, and it has the Langdon Tactical trigger bar. So if you notice, it's supposed to be less than 2 millimeters or at 2 millimeters take up. I think I'm just a little bit more, but that's the take up in single action. Hammer drops about 2 pounds. And the reset is right there. I mean, it's 1911 style trigger. But then what I did at Salt City Machine in Salt Lake City, where I am, we did the oval ports, and I crowned the barrel. So if you know, this is a 4.9 inch. And so what we did is we cut the barrel flush and then crowned it. And these ports, holy crap, I don't know if you saw my short or of the video before this of me shooting it. Wow, it if you're indoors in an indoor range, you might want to wear some of those like expandable earplugs and then earmuffs over it. If you've got some of those like Bluetooth earphones that go in that are, I want some, they're awesome. Yeah, those are for outdoor. You wear double protection if you're going to be shooting a ported gun indoors. It's like shooting an AR-15. It's just stupid loud. But wow, I can't remember the company. I'll have to link it. But I had the Trijicon dovetail mount. I mean, if you know anything about Berettas, obviously this gun came out in like what, 1980, 1979. Classic Italian, just open slide. They're just beautiful guns, but there's really no options to get a low mounting red dot on there. So I did the Trijicon, and I don't think Girsan copied the Beretta as much as like other companies. I don't know. I've never done a Taurus or a Melick. But, I mean, it was really difficult to get that dovetail in. I had to file a bunch of things, and then I finally got it on my, because I have 2 of these. It's a black one. And I had to file down this, and I didn't quite get it right, and then it came loose, and so I had to put like a little 2/1000 inch spacer in there, and it sits kind of high. So I'm going to order another of these. They're in Canada. You can get them on eBay. They're about $70. If you have a real Beretta, they'll go right in, and it's awesome because right in here, I don't know if you can see, right in here it's split, so that when you press it on this way, when you press it down on, then there's 2 bolts that go in, and it actually spreads that apart. So once it's like slid into the dovetail, then you put those screws in, it's kind of like on the top of a hammer when you put that stake in, and it just opens that wood. That's my French bulldog. Winston, what are you doing? And I mean, I rack this thing off everything. I beat the crap out of it, and it hasn't lost sight, hasn't lost anything. May not look the best, but you know, it's practical and it functions. Langdon Tactical, you can send these slides in and have them mill it. I probably would never have any problems with it, but they have to shave down the firing pin to get it to work, and obviously it's working for them because, you know, everything that comes out of Langdon is just gold. It's awesome. So I was like, okay, I can send this slide in. I think it's like $450, $300 or $400 to have it done, but I paid like $390 for this gun. So if you know my channel, I love budget stuff. I like to tinker. I build turbochargers for a living. So I like to tinker. I build engines. I've been a mechanic for over 23 years, 24 years. So I just like to take inexpensive things and make them function and form like an expensive gun. You know, I mean, you can go out and buy a $3,000 or $4,000 gun, and yeah, it's gonna run and it's gonna look nice. But I've got over 7,500 rounds through this gun. I did the Wilson Combat 11.5-pound mainspring, and it has a 12-pound, or excuse me, a recoil spring. It has a 12-pound mainspring, and when you go down in the mainspring weight, that's also what helps with that trigger. But I also modified, these are amazing to take down. That's there it is. The sear that's down there, I polished everything and mic'd it and made it basically to where it meets up with the hammer. The angle is just perfect. So on the other one, I did the Wilson Combat spring kit on it, and it brought it down to about 3 pounds. And I was like, I could do better than that. So yeah, this, I mean, it's very, very, very light. Very light. The double action's right around 4.5, 5 pounds, but it's that long double action, single action. So when you're pulling from a holster and you get on target, you know, I'm just used to all my 1911s to where it's just beep, pop. Nope. You beep, pull, 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 and then it breaks. But then you're in that sweet single action. Reset, pop. Reset, pop. So, I mean, you can shoot this gun. I can shoot this just as fast as my 1911 2011s, you know, and they've got obviously the amazing 1911 trigger, which is what they're known for. But if you're in the market, I mean, I think the black ones, if you don't want the Girsan window slide and, you know, the threaded barrel, which I have never seen anyone at a range run a suppressor on a handgun, but for some reason all these handguns are coming with threaded barrels, you know, whatever, to each their own. I guess it's nice to shoot a quiet gun, but you'd pay more for the suppressor than you would for the gun. They got it down to a T with Beretta. Only thing I had to modify, which it literally says it on Langdon Tactical, is the trigger bar. So right where there's a little hump right here, and that's what hooks on with the trigger. So when you drop it right in, you'll have a dead trigger. Like if you'll have a dead trigger like that. It won't reset enough. And it says it on their website that you have to file. It's right behind here. I wonder if I can, I don't know if I can get in there. So it's the part right there that hooks to the trigger. You have to file it down. I mean, it says it in their website. Took 5 seconds. I mean, you don't need much. And it's very, very, very hard steel. This is DLC coated, so it's very slippery, very hard steel. And it took me a little bit to get it filed down, but just a little bit at a time, put it back in, a little bit at a time. Otherwise, you won't get that awesome reset. You won't get that sweet reset if you take too much off. It'll reset all the way up there like the factory Beretta does, and then, you know, locks in. But this is Beretta, the takedown lever. These, if you've ever done safeties on a Beretta FS92 M9 A3 A4, just basically make your room magnets, because the little detents in here, they're like microscopic. I even had to use like a little bit of grease on a screwdriver just to kind of get them in. I mean, I'm sure that on my other Girsan Regard, they're the factory ones, and they work fine, but it was just that I just want to replace anything. The only thing I don't like about these, I do not like the slide serrations. I really like the factory Beretta ones. I was going to, and this is the factory bronze color. I think they only came 1 or 2 years in the bronze. Most of them are flat dark earth, coyote, whatever, and then just black. But I was going to cut some serrations in here from Salt City Machinery, and was going to cut some things in there. But I just kind of like that. Had I known that this color was so rare, I wouldn't have modified it, and I would have gone another one because they're stupid cheap. I mean, you can't buy a brand new Glock for sub $400 like this. I think right now they're on market. I think you can get just the black one, the Regard MC, for I think like $410, $420. And if you're willing to, buy the kit, I think the kit alone from Langdon Tactical is like $240, but all I did on this was the Wilson Combat Spring Kit, which was like $35, and then the trigger bar and the hammer is the only thing from Langdon Tactical. But they're so fun. I mean, when you look down the sights of this and you just see that Beretta style, that Italian design, it's fun. I had my friends shoot it that have, Staccato XCs and very high-end stuff, and they just couldn't believe it. So, can't afford that $1,800, $1,900, $2,300 Langdon Tactical, which they're beautiful, that black they do, and then everything is nickel-plated. They're just beautiful guns, but I'm a broke-ass business owner, so I build my stuff. Check them out. They're a good option if you... I mean, even out of the box. I mean, that black one I ripped it out of the box and took my wife and bang, 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 and they work great. I went with yellow on the front because this is kind of my home defense gun. So I figure if, shots fired, yellow cuts through smoke. So went with the yellow on that. It's kind of my bedside gun, I guess you could say. It is a green dot, which I have to send this back to Hollow Sun because for some weird reason, I don't know if you can see it, like the polarization on the glass is like coming off. I don't know if you can kind of see it. It's weird. So when I pull it out of my holster and get on target, there's just this like glare. And there you go. You can kind of see it right there in the center of the dot. It drives me nuts. Just, you paid $380 for the green dot. What gives? So I made a claim with them, and I'm going to send it back. And they already said that they would just take care of it. I mean, the dot works fine. I have other Hollow Suns that the auto dim is kind of finicky. It's like never bright enough when you need it, or it's too bright, or whatever. But this one seems to be just dead on. I don't know if I can. Yep, see, I mean, it just acts so fast, and that's what I told him. I said, no, I don't. If you send me a new one, this is like the one out of the 8 Hollow Suns I owned that is just spot on. And they're like, well, we'll have to look at it and see, but it is what it is. But no, I mean, check them out. If you like this style of gun, and you thought, well, I don't like it because of that really long double action, pay $400 for the gun, put $200 into it, and everything was drop in besides the trigger bar. But there's a video that Ernest Langdon talks about how you have to file down the trigger bar. It must be done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It has to be filed down because of the way that they ship it. But like the hammer dropped right in. I mean, the spring, recoil springs, all the Wilson Combat, everything. And unlike Berettas, which are, $600-700, this comes with a metal guide rod factory. Check them out. Let me know what you guys think. Keeping on thing with my budget-ass guns. But they're fun, man. I would say the only problem I had is I bought... because stupid Girsan, like, come on, guys. I hate gun companies that only sell you a gun with one magazine. I will pay the extra $25 for the gun. Send it with 2 magazines. Minimum. I think every gun should come with 3. Period. Tisosh. 2 mags. And they're checkmate. I mean, they're $50 mags a piece, and the gun is $750, right? So I paid like $398 for this before fees and taxes and all that whatever nonsense. I will pay $410, $420. Give me another mag, because then I gotta wait, and I gotta go to magshack.com and order some Metgar mags. So I ordered 3 more mags, and I was getting failure to feed. It was almost like one of the shells was stuck right here. But, you know, I still had a full magazine, so I was getting a failure to eject. And so I took the whole gun down, popped out the extractor and polished it and did everything I could. And then same thing. So I'm like, what gives? So after being frustrated, and actually let this gun sit for about 6 months, but I didn't even shoot it. I was just frustrated. You know, you get what you pay for, they say. I took the mags apart and I just polished the feed lips, like literally right where the round loads right here. I just took some 1000 grit and just polished them up. Boom. Runs like a sewing machine. Ever since I did that, out of the past 2,000 or 3,000 rounds, I don't think I've had a failure on this gun. There was one day where I was shooting it and I was riding really high like this, and my thumb was riding the slide, so I had a failure to go into battery. But that's my fault. I mean, I think it was pretty cold outside, but I was riding the slide like this, and as it was coming in, I just kind of helped it. Because, I mean, it is just an 11.5 pound recoil spring, so it's nothing. I mean, I can air rack this gun. I can put a mag in as long as the hammer's back, and I can air rack it right into battery. So ever since I polished those feed lips on the magazines, it's ran flawlessly. I mean, SHTF happened, I would grab this over my Prodigies. It's just because it's been proven. I mean, I've got so ridiculously amount of rounds through it. I was expecting like the barrel to finally, you know, give out on me. But no, I clean it every time I shoot it because I actually enjoy cleaning them, and it's fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. With all those rounds. So, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the Girsan 1911s. I've had a few of them, and I just don't like the way that their sear springs and all that is, but they knocked it out of the park with these Beretta clones. Rumor has it, I can't confirm, rumor has it that when Beretta was leaving to move to the state that they're in now, they actually shipped, I do know for 100% certainty that this clone is made off of the same machinery that made the Berettas in the 80s and 90s. So the milling, all that stuff is the exact same actual machines that made the Berettas from the 80s and 90s. So that's maybe why they mastered it. I mean, I don't know if they got the patent, but I know the Tauruses are a lot different. I know some of these are a little bit different, but if you're looking for a Beretta on a budget, go with the Girsan Regard. You won't be disappointed, I promise. I mean, you watch all the YouTube videos, and if they do have failure to feeds and failure to ejects and all that, I promise you it's because they just pulled them out, and the Metgar mags that they come with, they're feed lips, because I had 3 of them give me the same problem, so I figured it was the gun. I polished the feed lips on them. They run flawlessly. And I actually ordered another Metgar, so I have, I think, 5 or 6 mags for this, because I have 2 of them out of the box. I just polished them. Brand new mag, first time running it, ran perfectly fine. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. You know, it's not the absolute most popular gun. It's not a Glock. It's not a SIG. But, man, they're such a pleasure to shoot, especially with those ports. But if you guys are looking for any machining on your guns, whether you want ports, you know, a crowning, anything like that, check me out on Facebook. My Facebook name is the exact same, but check out Salt City Machining. And you can PM me and let me know if you want any, you know, window cuts or top cuts or anything like that. Like, my T-Sosh is ported, my Prodigy is ported, and I actually have a single stack T-Sosh that I like just because, you know, if I need to carry it and I don't want to print and don't want the big fat double stack, we're cutting RMSC footprint right now, and we're actually going to copy what T-Sosh did. So we're cutting the Novak off, we're going to do an RMSC, and then we're going to etch this out for a rear Glock sight. We're going to put it about 15 thousandths lower than this, which you will if you watch my Prodigy videos, but this will be direct milled, so there'll be no plate. You have to be careful about this screw right there because it can interfere with the extractor. So what I like to do is take everything out, pop out the extractor, put the optic on, shine some light down there with the slide off, obviously, and then shine some light down there and see if you can see that screw protruding. But I want to put the optic down about 10 to 15 thousandths lower so that I won't have to buy a suppressor height sight, so I can just co-witness. Lower the better. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you guys watching as always. Have a good day.